On the edge of the galaxy, an ancient race called the Xanthorians send out a frantic signal, their world under siege by a brutal and relentless alien empire, the Xori, who destroy everything they touch. The message is a plea for help sent in every frequency possible, desperate and raw. It cuts through the void, a cry for salvation that no one should ignore, but in the depths of space, far from the reaches of most civilizations, it is heard only by a few, those who know the price of survival and the cost of intervention. Among them are the Deathworlders, a group of humans who come from a planet where life is constantly fighting to stay alive, where every creature is deadly, and the environment itself is a constant challenge. Only the strongest can survive. They are the soldiers of a ruthless and unforgiving world, the only kind who understand the true meaning of struggle and resilience. Their reputation is feared across the galaxy as warriors who live to face impossible odds. The message reaches Earth, a planet that has spent years in isolation, focusing on its own rebuilding after years of conflict. The cry for help stirs something deep within the Council of Earth's High Command. Some are hesitant, others are intrigued, but all are aware of the implications. The Xori are known as one of the most violent and unrelenting species in the galaxy. Their thirst for conquest unending, and their tactics brutal. They have already devastated several systems, but to answer the plea means going to war, and with a fleet still recovering from previous engagements, there are those who question if they are ready. But there are those who believe in the Deathworlders' creed that survival isn't just about existence, it's about fighting back. It's about sending a message that the universe will not let bullies and tyrants roam unchecked. And so the decision is made. The Deathworlder fleet will respond, and a new chapter of their story begins. The fleet is massive, more than 1,000 ships, large and small, assembled from the survivors of countless battles. They are a coalition of humanity's finest minds and fiercest warriors, every ship a testament to their willpower and their determination. But even they know that facing the Xori will not be easy. They are prepared for any challenge, but they also understand that the battle ahead is unlike anything they've ever faced. As the fleet mobilizes, the Deathworlders' commanders take stock of the situation. They know that war is not a simple matter of firepower. It is about tactics and strategy. It is about understanding your enemy and exploiting their weaknesses. They are not just soldiers, they are hunters. They thrive on the challenge of overcoming forces that would crush lesser beings, but they also know the risks. The Xanthorians' plea may be a trap, it may be a strategy to lure them into an even greater war. Despite the uncertainty, there is no turning back. The fleet jumps into the void, each ship vanishing into the starry expanse. As they head toward the Xanthorian system, their mission clear: they will save the Xanthorians or die trying. The fate of an entire race hangs in the balance, and the Deathworlders will show no mercy. The darkness of space stretches before them, but they are ready for whatever awaits. As the fleet nears the Xanthorian system, a tension builds among the crew, not one of fear, but of anticipation, the kind of charged excitement that comes before a great hunt. Every Deathworlder knows this feeling well: the quiet before the storm, the silence in the air. Just before chaos erupts on the bridge of the flagship, the commanders gather to finalize their strategy, their eyes sharp, focused on the holographic map of the Xanthorian system. In front of them, the Xori fleet is already there in orbit around the Xanthorian homeworld. Their numbers are overwhelming, but the Deathworlders are not deterred. They have faced worse and survived. Commander Alex Stryker, one of the fleet's most decorated leaders, stands at the head of the table, her face cold and unreadable. As she reviews the data, she knows that what they are about to do will not be easy. But she is certain of one thing: the Xori will not win. They will not succeed in wiping out another species, not while she still breathes. Her team looks to her for guidance, and she gives it in the form of simple but firm instructions. The Deathworlders will engage with everything. They have no hesitation, no mercy. Meanwhile, across the fleet, the atmosphere is charged. Each crew member is ready for the battle ahead. They have fought in the deadliest conditions on Earth, faced monsters that would tear most beings apart, survived wars that left entire planets in ruin. But even they cannot deny the odds stacked against them. The Xanthorians are a peaceful species by nature. Their technology is advanced, but they are not a warrior race. Their world is beautiful, fragile, and unprepared for the devastation the Xori have wrought. Still, there is hope in the fact that the Xanthorians are not entirely helpless. They are not just survivors, they are smart and resourceful. Their ancient civilization holds secrets of powerful weapons lost to time. And it is this knowledge that the Deathworlders now seek to uncover. The more they learn, the more they realize how important their mission is, not just for the Xanthorians, but for the future of the galaxy itself. If the Shori are allowed to continue their campaign unchecked, there will be no stopping them. As the Deathworlder fleet drops out of hyperspace above the Xanthorian homeworld, the sight before them is grim. The once lush and thriving planet now lies scared by fire and destruction. The Shori have already established strongholds across the surface, their ships hovering ominously in the sky, casting shadows over what was once a peaceful world. The Xanthorian cities are in ruins, their people scattered, hiding in the remnants of their former civilization. But despite the bleak scene, there is no sense of defeat among the Deathworlders. They understand that this is not the time for hesitation, it is a time for action. The fleet moves in formation, weapons primed, shields up as they prepare to launch their assault. They will not allow the Shori to complete their conquest. They will not allow the Xanthorians to fall. The first strike comes fast and hard. The Deathworlder ships unleash a torrent of firepower that tears into the Shori fleet. The Shori are formidable, but they are not prepared for the speed and precision of the Deathworlders' attack. Their ships explode in brilliant flashes of light as the Deathworlders punch through their defenses, each strike calculated, each move precise. On the ground, the Xanthorians watch in awe and fear as the battle rages above them, their planet's fate hanging by a thread. But there is a flicker of hope in their eyes. They see that the Deathworlders are not just fighters, they are their saviors, the ones who have come to protect them from the darkness that seeks to swallow them whole. The battle above the Xanthorian homeworld rages with an intensity that shakes the very core of space as the Deathworlder fleet claws through the Shori forces. The Shori, though numerous and vicious, are now on the defensive, each wave of their ships splintering under the unrelenting assault of the Deathworlders' coordinated strikes. But the Deathworlders are not only using firepower, they are employing tactics honed through centuries of surviving their harsh home planet, a world where only the deadliest are allowed to thrive. They are predators, and the Shori have just become their prey. Commander Stryker watches the chaos unfold from the bridge of the flagship, her eyes never leaving the holomap as she issues commands with cold precision, every maneuver, every order calculated to break the Shori line. She knows this is only the beginning. The real challenge lies on the ground with the Xanthorians. They can't save them from space alone. They must strike at the heart of the Shori presence on the planet's surface, and that will take far more than firepower. It will require something far more lethal, the Deathworlder touch. Stryker gathers her key officers in the command room, her voice firm and unwavering. We need to get boots on the ground, and we need them now. She orders her team to prepare for the next phase of the mission. Their priority will be to secure key Xanthorian cities and find any signs of ancient weapons that the Xanthorians may have hidden away. But the Shori are everywhere, and they are not going to let anyone move freely across their occupied world. The fleet's ground forces are deployed in fast assault shuttles that punch through the atmosphere like meteors, striking key locations deep within the Shori-occupied zones. As the shuttles break through the planet's dense cloud cover, the true scale of the destruction becomes clear. Entire cities, once brimming with life, are now smoldering husks, their tall spires reduced to rubble. In the distance, the unmistakable sight of Shori war machines patrolling the streets is a stark reminder of the scale of their tyranny. Captain Elena Thorne, a battle-hardened veteran of countless Deathworlder conflicts, leads the first strike team. She and her squad land in the ruins of a Xanthorian city, now reduced to little more than a ghost town. The team quickly establishes a perimeter, their weapons ready, scanning the desolate surroundings for any signs of the enemy. Thorne's eyes narrow. She can feel the weight of the mission pressing on her shoulders. She knows what is at stake. They must find something, anything that can turn the tide. As they move deeper into the city, the ground shudders under their feet, a reminder that the Shori are never far. Thorn signals her squad to take cover as a small group of Shori soldiers emerge from a nearby building, their predatory eyes scanning the area. Thorn's team holds their breath, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. A single shot rings out, piercing the air like a crack of thunder, and the Shori soldiers fall one by one. The Deathworlders are ruthless, precise, and fast. There's no room for mercy. The fight is brief, brutal, and effective. But this is just a taste of the challenges ahead. Thorn knows the Shori will not be so easily defeated here. They will fight for every inch of ground. In another part of the city, Sergeant Caden Cruz and his squad push forward, clearing the way for the rest of the Deathworlder forces to move in. They reach what remains of the Xenthorian archives, a building that once held priceless knowledge of the ancient race's history and technology. But as they enter, they find nothing, only shattered walls and scorched remnants. The ancient secrets they hope to unlock may not be here after all. Cruz slams his fist against the wall in frustration, but then spots something half buried beneath the debris. A glowing console. His heart races as he approaches it. This may be the lead they've been searching for. He activates the console, hoping it will provide the answers they need. The faint hum of power fills the room, and slowly, a map of the ancient Xenthorian underground vaults flickers to life. This could be it, the key to winning the war and unlocking the weapons that will drive the Shori off their planet for good. But it's buried deep beneath layers of enemy forces, and Cruz knows that getting to it will take everything they have. There's no turning back now. The Deathworlders will take the fight to the heart of the Shori occupation, no matter the cost. The Deathworlder forces press deeper into the Shori-occupied zones, their movements swift and relentless. Captain Alina Thorn's squad leads the charge through the ruined cityscape. The faint glow of the underground vaults map their only guide. The streets are eerily silent, save for the distant hum of Shori war machines patrolling the area. Every corner could hide an ambush. Every shadow could conceal a threat. But the Deathworlders are no strangers to danger. They thrive in it, and they move with the calculated efficiency of predators hunting their prey. Thorn's team reaches the outer perimeter of the Xenthorian archives, where the ancient map had led them. But as they approach, they spot movement in the distance, a group of Shori soldiers. The enemy is everywhere, always one step ahead. Thorn signals her squad to spread out, taking cover behind the wreckage of a once beautiful park, now nothing more than twisted metal and debris. Her heart beats steadily in her chest, the calm before the storm, as she waits for the perfect moment to strike. As the Shori soldiers move closer, Thorn's breath slows, every muscle tensed. Then, with a single command, the Deathworlders spring into action. Blazing gunfire fills the air as the squad opens up on the enemy, their weapons roaring in unison. The Shori react quickly, diving behind cover and returning fire with savage speed, but they are no match for the Deathworlders' precision. One by one, the Shori soldiers fall, their bodies crumpling to the ground in a chaotic heap. Thorn surveys the battlefield, her sharp eyes scanning for any more threats. The squad moves forward, quickly clearing the area. But they know this victory is temporary. The Shori will not give up easily. They push on, heading toward the underground vaults where the ancient Xenthorian weaponry is said to be hidden. Meanwhile, aboard the Deathworlder flagship, Commander Stryker watches the battle unfold on the planet's surface. The holographic screens before her display every detail of the ground assault, but Stryker knows the real danger lies below, in the depths of the planet. The ancient weapons could turn the tide of the war, but they are buried deep within the vaults, guarded by the Shori and their fearsome defenses. Stryker turns to her officers, her voice calm but filled with purpose. We need to ensure that Thorn and her team make it to the vaults. Prepare the second wave. We won't let the Shori stand in our way. The orders are relayed throughout the fleet, and reinforcements begin to mobilize. The Deathworlder fleet, despite its brutal efficiency in space, understands that the fight on the ground is just as crucial. The Shori forces may be strong, But the Deathworlders have never been outmatched in their own realm. Planetary combat. Back on the surface, Thorn's squad finally reaches the entrance to the ancient vaults. The massive doors are adorned with symbols of the Xanthorian culture, a reminder of the peaceful civilization that once thrived here. But now, those symbols seem hollow, a stark contrast to the blood that stains the streets. The doors are locked, sealed by a complex mechanism designed to protect the secrets within. Thorn steps forward, examining the intricate patterns, her mind working quickly. "We don't have much time," she says, her voice low but firm. "We need to get inside, now." Sergeant Cruz, ever the tech expert, pulls out a device that interfaces with the control panel. As he works, the sounds of distant explosions reverberate through the ground, a reminder that the Xori are closing in on them. The device beeps as the lock begins to disengage, and with a final twist, the doors slowly creak open. The squad moves in, weapons raised, scanning every corner of the dark, musty vault. The air is thick with dust, but the glimmer of ancient technology flickers in the shadows. They've made it. The weapons they need to win this war are just ahead. But they are not alone. The Xori are already here. Thorn's heart races as she hears the telltale sound of alien boots on the floor. The enemy is closing in fast, and now it's a race against time. Retrieve the weapons, or perish trying. The heavy doors of the vault close behind them with a dull thud, sealing the Deathworlders inside, and the air grows colder as the shadows of the underground chamber stretch out before them. Inside, the ancient Xanthorian technology is nothing like the sleek and efficient designs of modern warfare. It is alien, archaic, and powerful. The vault is lined with rows of dormant weaponry, dormant for centuries, but still holding the promise of unimaginable force. It's exactly what they need to turn the tide against the Xori. Sergeant Cruz moves forward first, scanning the room with his portable tech reader, searching for the power source that could activate the weapons. Thorn's squad keeps their weapons raised, alert to every sound that echoes through the vast chamber. The place is eerily quiet, the only movement the faint stir of dust in the stale air. Time is slipping away, and every second counts. The Xori won't let them stay hidden for long. "Stay sharp," Thorn mutters to her team, eyes darting between the vault's towering walls. They know we're here. Just as she finishes speaking, the sound of clanking metal echoes through the corridor. Thorn's heart races. The Xori have found them. She gestures sharply for her squad to take positions, the quiet tension of the moment suddenly erupting into the intense focus of combat. They're not just facing enemies. They're facing an ambush. And they've entered the heart of enemy territory, with no way out but through. The door to the vault slams open with a force that rattles the walls, and the first wave of Xori soldiers pours in. They are a brutal sight, tall, heavily armored, and armed with weapons capable of decimating anything in their path. The Deathworlders don't hesitate. With the speed of a predator, Thorn's squad engages, the roar of plasma rifles and kinetic blasters filling the chamber. The Xori fight back with ferocity, their weapons crackling with deadly energy, but the Deathworlders are faster and more ruthless. Cruz shouts from across the vault, his voice tinged with urgency. "I got the power core. It's going to take a minute to get this thing online." Thorn doesn't hesitate for a second. "Do whatever it takes, Cruz. We'll hold them off." The battle in the vault intensifies as Thorn and her squad press the assault on the Xori. The walls seem to close in around them as enemy after enemy drops, but for every Xori soldier who falls, 2 more take their place. The odds are stacking up against them, and yet the Deathworlders show no sign of slowing down. They fight with a grim determination that only comes from knowing this isn't just another battle. It's the fate of an entire race that hangs in the balance. As Cruz continues to work on the power core, Thorn's sharp eyes catch a movement out of the corner of her vision. A larger, more menacing figure strides into the fray. A Xori commander, towering over the others, his heavy armor reinforced with energy shields. This is the one they've been dreading. His eyes lock onto Thorn, and a smirk creeps across his face as he raises his weapon. The air around him crackles with energy, and Thorn can feel the heat of his power even from a distance. "This is your end, human." The Chori commander growls, his voice a low rumble that seems to shake the very foundation of the vault. But Thorn's face hardens, a cold fire in her eyes. She doesn't answer with words. Instead, she leads her squad in a coordinated strike, their blasters and rifles unleashing a barrage of fire that forces the commander back, though his armor absorbs most of the impact. It's clear that this will be no easy fight, but the Deathworlders have fought tougher battles before. "Focus fire on him," Thorn orders. The squad shifts their aim, working in unison, using their superior coordination to force the commander into retreat. With every shot they land, the Chori commander stumbles, the energy shields around him flickering and weakening. Meanwhile, Kruz's voice rings out, his tone triumphant. "I've got it. The weapons are online. Prepare yourselves." As the weapons in the vault come to life, the atmosphere changes. The dormant power within the chamber hums to life, the ancient Centaurian tech now primed and ready for use. Thorn glances at the power cores that now glow with a faint but ominous blue light. She knows this is their moment. If they can just hold the line for a few more seconds, everything changes. With a final, focused blast, the Chori commander crashes to the ground, his body falling heavily onto the cold vault floor. Thorn looks at her squad, nodding. "Let's finish this." The vault is now theirs, and with the weapons at their disposal, they can finally push back the Chori for good. The moment the Chori commander collapses to the ground, a heavy silence falls over the vault. The battle seems to pause, but only for a heartbeat. The Deathworlders are not fooled. There's no time to rest. The Chori are relentless, and they know exactly how to regroup and come back harder. Thorn doesn't allow herself to relax. Her mind is already calculating the next move. "Move out, now," she commands, and her squad doesn't hesitate. They fan out, taking strategic positions around the vault, securing their hold on the room before the next wave arrives. Kruz moves quickly to the control console, his fingers flying across the interface as he activates the ancient Centaurian weapons. There's a hum of energy as massive cannons, hidden in the vault's walls, shift into place, their power cores glowing to life. The weapons are not just tools, they are works of art, designed with precision and deadly efficiency. Thorn surveys the room, her eyes scanning the horizon. The Deathworlders have what they came for, the means to strike back. But there's no time to celebrate. The Chori are already regrouping, their tactics as brutal as ever. They know the vault is critical, and they will do whatever it takes to reclaim it. Seconds later, the first Chori reinforcements charge into the vault, their massive forms clanking against the stone floor, their weapons raised. Thorn's heart races as her squad springs into action. She can feel the charge of adrenaline coursing through her veins. The Deathworlders are a force of nature, and now they're using the advanced weaponry of the Centaurians to turn the tide. "Fire at will," Thorn yells, and the vault erupts with the roar of blasters and the crackle of energy shields. The Deathworlders have mastered every type of combat known to the galaxy, but this is something else. The Chori soldiers charge forward, their war cries echoing through the vault. But the Deathworlders are faster, more precise. They've fought on their death worlds, where survival means outsmarting creatures twice your size. The Chori may be brutal, but they can't outlast the Deathworlder ferocity. The first wave of Chori soldiers falls in seconds, their bodies crumpling under the combined firepower of the Deathworlder squad. But there are more, and they come charging in without fear. It's like fighting an endless tide of fury. The Deathworlders reload and continue their assault, making sure every shot counts. Meanwhile, Kruz continues to operate the central console, directing the newly activated weapons towards the advancing enemy. He taps a few more commands, and suddenly, The ground shakes as a massive energy cannon embedded deep within the vault's walls activates. A pulse of intense energy shoots forward, slicing through the Kshori ranks like a blade through butter. Several of their soldiers disintegrate in an instant, their bodies torn apart by the sheer force of the blast. "Keep them off me while I set the secondary systems," Kruz shouts, sweat beading on his forehead from the effort. The Kshori are closing in faster now, and they know they've only got moments before the Deathworlders can fully deploy the Xenthorian weaponry. Thorn moves forward, leading her squad into the heart of the battle, her rifle blazing with precision. Every shot counts, each one hitting its target with lethal accuracy. The Kshori are fierce, but the Deathworlders are surgical in their execution. It's a constant push and pull, an endless exchange of fire as the Kshori throw everything they have at the Deathworlders. The vault is rapidly filling with smoke, and the air is thick with the smell of burned metal and ozone. But even with the chaos, Thorn remains focused. Her team holds the line, pushing forward inch by inch, while Kruz continues his work at the console. The hum of the weapons intensifies, and just as it seems like the Kshori might overwhelm them, Kruz lets out a victorious yell. "It's ready," he shouts. The vault suddenly erupts with power. The ancient weaponry comes to life in a dazzling display of energy. Massive cannons line the walls, each one releasing a deadly blast that tears through the Kshori forces. The Deathworlders have the upper hand now, and they make every shot count, ensuring that the Kshori are pushed back step by step. But the battle is far from over. The Kshori know they can't afford to lose the vault. They send wave after wave of soldiers. But the Deathworlders are ready. The weapons are theirs, and with each pulse of energy, they push the Kshori further back, slowly but surely securing the vault and the future of the Xenthorian people. As the last of the Kshori forces retreat, Thorn stands tall, her chest rising and falling with the rhythm of battle, but her eyes are sharp, never letting down her guard. "This isn't over," she mutters, "but it's a start." The vault is silent now, but the stillness is deceiving. The Deathworlders stand amidst the wreckage, their breaths heavy but steady, their weapons still at the ready. The vault, once a place of forgotten secrets and ancient technology, is now a battlefield. Bodies, both Kshori and their own, litter the ground, a grim testament to the ferocity of the struggle. But even with the victory in their hands, the Deathworlders know that this is only the beginning. Commander Stryker's voice crackles through the comms, her tone sharp and commanding. "Thorn, report. What's the status on the vault?" Thorn takes a breath, surveying the devastation. She doesn't take pleasure in the violence, but she understands its necessity. "The weapons are fully activated, Commander. The Kshori are retreating, but we've secured the vault. The Xenthorians are safe for now." There's a brief pause before Stryker replies. "Good. We're going to need everything we've got. The Kshori won't let this go without a fight. They'll regroup, and we'll have to hold this position until reinforcements arrive." Thorn knows Stryker is right. The Kshori are relentless, and now that they've tasted defeat, they'll come back harder. But for now, the Deathworlders have something they didn't have before: an advantage. The ancient Xenthorian weapons are powerful, and they're going to need every ounce of that power to push the Kshori off this planet for good. She turns to her squad. "Kruz, patch into the fleet's tactical network. We need to coordinate our next moves." Kruz nods, tapping a few commands into his device. "Done. I've got the fleet's movements on my screen. They're ready to reinforce the ground teams, but we're going to have to hold out a little longer." Thorn clenches her fist. "We'll hold. We're not leaving this vault until we've finished what we came here to do." But even as she says the words, the air around them seems to tremble. The Deathworlders have been fighting for hours, and they know that their strength, though formidable, is finite. They need to secure the vault and make sure the Kshori can't regroup. But with each passing minute, the Kshori become more unpredictable, more dangerous. A sudden rumble shakes the vault, followed by the distant sound of engines roaring to life. Thorn's heart skips a beat. She doesn't need to be told what's coming. The Chori have mobilized. They're coming in force. Get to cover. Thorn shouts. The squad quickly takes their positions, preparing for what will undoubtedly be a brutal counterattack. Their fingers are on the triggers, their eyes scanning every possible entry point. Then, as if summoned by her command, the Choris storm the vault. Their forces are massive, much larger than the previous waves, and they come at the Deathworlders with the fury of a species cornered. This time, they're not going to make the same mistake. The Chori have brought out their most terrifying weapons, massive energy cannons mounted on exoskeletal warframes, and soldiers outfitted with advanced energy shields. It's clear that the Deathworlders have just unlocked a new chapter in the conflict, one that will test every ounce of their strength. Thorn's squad moves quickly, their training kicking in as they fire at the oncoming Chori, their shots ricocheting off energy shields with deafening cracks. The Chori push forward, relentless, their war cries filling the air. But the Deathworlders give no ground. They're too experienced to let this fight slip away. Every shot they take is deliberate, calculated, designed to incapacitate rather than destroy. Keep them off the weapons. Kruz shouts, his voice sharp. I'm not done yet. The ground shakes again as a massive Chori warframe steps into view, its cannon aimed directly at the vault's core. Thorn knows that if that shot hits, it could destroy everything they'd fought for. With a battle cry, she leads the charge, sprinting toward the warframe. Her rifle crackles as she fires, hitting its energy shield, but it barely makes a dent. Focus fire on the weak points. Thorn yells, and her squad responds instantly, targeting the joints, the points where the armor is weakest. The warframe stumbles under their combined firepower, sparks flying from its exposed systems. It's slow, but it's getting closer. Thorn's pulse races. This is it. Either they stop it here, or they lose everything. With one final, concentrated shot, the warframe falters. The shield collapses, and the cannon's charge dissipates in a spectacular explosion. The Chori pilot is thrown clear as the warframe crashes to the ground, its armored frame crumpling beneath the force of its own weapons. For a moment, there's silence. And then, another wave comes. Thorn knows this fight isn't over. They've only just begun. The Deathworlders are warriors, but so are the Chori. The vault trembles under the weight of the battle, the sound of distant explosions reverberating through the walls as the Deathworlders press on. Thorn's heart pounds in her chest, the adrenaline flooding her veins as she watches the last of the Chori warframe crumble to the ground. But the victory is short-lived. The Chori are not done yet. They're regrouping, preparing for another assault. And this time, it's clear they've brought their full might. Thorn's squad doesn't pause. They reload and adjust their position, their movements sharp, honed by years of relentless training. The air is thick with the acrid scent of burnt metal, and the dim light of the vault casts long, eerie shadows across the room. Kruz continues to work at the central console, his fingers moving rapidly over the interface, trying to bring the full power of the Xanthorian weapons online. Kruz, how long? Thorn asks, her voice tight with urgency. I'm almost there, Kruz replies, sweat beading on his forehead. Just a few more minutes. We need to hold them off until then. Thorn nods, her eyes narrowing as she scans the battlefield. The Chori are coming again, and this time, they've changed tactics. They move in tight, coordinated groups, using their advanced energy shields to form a near-impenetrable wall. The Deathworlders can't afford to engage head-on. They need to outmaneuver, outthink, and outblast. Spread out, take the high ground. Thorn orders, and the squad shifts quickly, finding strategic positions in the rubble of the vault. Their rifles are ready, their eyes sharp. They know the Chori will try to breach the vault's core. Their main objective is to take back the weapons, and they'll stop at nothing to do it. The first wave of Chori comes into view, their soldiers moving with predatory grace. Their armor gleams under the flickering lights, and their weapons crackle with deadly energy. Thorn's squad fires in unison, but the Chori shields hold firm. The battle is a brutal exchange of energy pulses and explosions, each side trying to break through the other's defenses. Thorn's mind races, calculating every move. She spots a weakness in the Chori formation, a gap between two groups of soldiers where the shields are weaker. She motions to her squad, and they move as one, flanking the Chori from both sides. The surprise attack is swift, the Deathworlders' weapons cutting through the gap like a hot knife through butter. The Chori stagger, their shields flickering, and Thorn doesn't hesitate. She fires, taking down one soldier after another, her aim precise, her shots landing where they count. But the Chori are adaptable, and within moments, they begin to shift their formation, tightening their ranks, and retaliating with a ferocity that forces Thorn's squad to pull back. The firepower is overwhelming, and for a moment, it seems like the Deathworlders might be pushed to their limits. Then Kruz's voice comes through the comms, steady and filled with resolve. It's done. I've activated the secondary systems. The weapons are ready. Thorn's heart leaps in her chest. Fire them now, Kruz. The ground shakes as the massive Xenthorian cannons come to life. Energy beams shoot from the walls, slamming into the Chori forces with devastating force. The tide of battle shifts instantly as the Chori soldiers are torn apart, their shields faltering under the overwhelming power of the ancient weapons. The vault is filled with the hum of energy as the Deathworlders unleash the full fury of the Xenthorian technology. But even with the weapons on their side, the Chori are not done. They'd regroup quickly, sending in their most dangerous warriors, heavily armored, armed with pulse rifles and explosives, their bodies covered in thick, reinforced armor that absorbs the energy beams. Thorn's squad isn't backing down. They fire with renewed intensity, but the Chori are relentless. The battle rages on, both sides locked in a brutal struggle for control of the vault and the planet's future. For every Chori soldier that falls, two more take their place. The Deathworlders' resolve is tested, their stamina stretched thin, but they hold their ground. Then something shifts. A low hum fills the air, followed by a sharp crackle of energy. It's a sound Thorn knows all too well. The Chori are activating their own weapon, one that matches the power of the Xenthorian cannons. It's a last-ditch effort to turn the tide in their favor, and if it connects, it could destroy the vault and everything they've worked for. Kruz, shut it down. Now. Thorn shouts, her voice filled with urgency. Kruz's fingers fly across the console, but the Chori weapon powers up faster than he can stop it. In the heat of the moment, Thorn knows they only have one chance. With a roar, she charges toward the center of the vault, her squad covering her, as the massive Chori weapon charges up, ready to fire. With one final, coordinated strike, the Deathworlders disable the Chori weapon just in time. The energy blast goes wide, missing its target, and the Chori forces falter, their morale breaking as their weapon fails. The Deathworlders stand tall, the vault secured, the weapons in their hands. But even as the last of the Chori retreat, Thorn knows this isn't the end. It's a victory, but it's only the beginning of a long, hard war. The Chori will return, and the Deathworlders will be ready. The battle for the Xenthorians' freedom has just begun.